Hi, this is Tracy with Extreme Auto Products today, and we have a brand new 2015 V6 Camaro with the 3.6 liter direct injection engine. We're going to show you how we do the catch can and clean side separator install. One of the easiest installs you'll be able to do. Tools you're going to need: something to cut the line with. You're going to have both 3/8 and 1/2 inch line. This is a hose cutter. You could do it with a utility knife or any other way. First thing we're going to do is remove the Oem Oil Fill Cap. That's going to get set aside. Not going to reuse that. We're going to pull up the front of the engine cover, pull it straight off the barbs in the back, and you can see how they go back on to hold the rear of it, and the front will pop right back down. We're going to set this off to the side, and we're first going to deal with the clean side. So the clean side, you're going to grab and you're going to remove this hose. It's going to pop right off this little barb on the stock air box. If you've got a cold air intake, you're going to find that's going to have a barb as well. You're going to grab this and firmly pull, and that's going to come off the barb in the back. You're going to take the 1/2 inch vacuum cap and you're going to put it over this barb in the back so we don't leave an unfiltered opening into the engine. And you might want to put a little bit of oil on that so it slides on easier. But that needs to be plugged. This you're going to take and set aside as well. This isn't going to be used. We're going to take our clean side separator, and it's going to come assembled. It's going to have a piece of 16-inch -8 or 1/2 inch ID line with a 1/2 inch barb on the end of the line. To put this on, this pops off the base cap. When the cover goes back on, this will go on just like your regular oil cap. This will plug into here, and this barb will fit directly into the OEM barb, and that couldn't be simpler. Now, since we're not at that stage yet, we're still going to set that apart. We're installing a dual valve catch can today. The single valve catch can will install the same way, except for the secondary evacuation outlet. You're going to add a barb just in front of the throttle body, so we're using this vacuum or suction to evacuate when you go into wide open throttle operation. We want the clean side to be closer to the mass airflow sensor, which this retains emissions, closed system, 100% MAF metered air, and the secondary outlet from the catch can, if doing the dual valve, is going to be closer to the throttle body because more suction at wide open throttle will be realized here than it will be further down the intake tube where the main air filter is going to disperse it. So first thing we're going to do, you're only going to need two 10mm wrenches, and I've already loosened this to speed this up. You're going to remove this stud that snaps into the underside of the engine cover, or you can use one of the 10mm bolts on either side that holds the vacuum booster pump in place. You want to look down here, either one of these you can also bolt that bracket on. The V6 comes with a medium L bracket that can be used in either one of these locations. If you have a cold air intake, it will also mount on the unused stud right here, so it can be mounted on the driver's side, either way. Now this is the latest in the RX design. It is a modular unit. Still is the 4-chamber separation, 3 steps of process, but it can all come apart if somebody has the need and want to see what's inside it. Our main bracket now is not a welded on piece on the can body. It is now this billet clamp. Again, no extra charge for this. So you're going to go up about a little over an inch from the bottom of these 2 slots, and that's where you're going to want to position it if you're using the stud for the engine cover. Bolt this in place so your can sits as such. You're going to take this stud, go down into the center of it. You're going to put the nut back underneath it. And snug this down. Tighten it up, and as you see, your can is there. And again, these slots will allow you approximately 3 inches of up or down vertical travel, so you can make it fit how you want it to. This I pre-fit. Now the next thing we're going to do is, this can is merely going to go in between the intake manifold vacuum source right here and the rear of the passenger side valve cover, which is your dirty side. This is your clean side, this is your dirty side. We're simply going to cut the elbow out of this solid tube. Center of the can is going to slide over the section that goes back to the end of the valve cover. And note, if you have a 2013 or older, you do need to remove the barb that is pressed down into that valve cover and drill the top to 1/8 inch and the 2 bottom holes to 5/64 of an inch. Otherwise, there was a flaw in the design of that PCV orifice barb, and we shared the correct dimensions of it and design of it with GM about 4 years ago. They've incorporated our design now in every 2014 and above V6 GM, so that it can flow properly. Before, it was far too restrictive, and it would cause pressure to build up and oil to ingest back in the clean side upstream of the throttle body. Alright, we're going to take the closest barb, and as you can see, this will come together already with the check valve installed. You only need to cut your 3/8 inch tubing, -6 tubing to size. This is our Billet one-way flowing check valve, extremely high quality. We were able to source these without having to raise the price as well. They're true AN fittings. These aren't just stubs or barbs. And the center one, you will want to tighten with a adjustable wrench, probably being the most common. Do not over tighten, just snugging this down. This then going to slide over the section of the hard plastic tube left that's going to the center front of the intake manifold. This provides your dirty side or foul side evacuation at idle, cruising, deceleration, and normal operation. That's as far as you would go if it was a single valve can. But we want evacuation at all times to prevent crankcase pressure building. So we're going to install a dual valve can. And again, this is the latest version. All the parts here are billet, top and bottom, everything pre-threaded, everything with actual AN fittings, not just some cheap little covers. We're going to put a barb in on this end, which is a 3/8 inch barb on one end, 1/4 national pipe thread male on the other. These are included. And you're going to drill a 1/2 inch hole, 9/16 or a 7/16 inch hole will work, just in front of the throttle body. If you've got the stock coupler, go right into this coupler. If you've got an aftermarket cold air intake, you'll have a little silicone coupler here. Either one will work. That'll go directly into it. You want to make sure that's nice and snug. This isn't subject to any pressure, only vacuum. And this will, I'm going to route this underneath these lines to make it a little neater. So this is going to provide your evacuation suction source when you are in boost. System is complete, ready for the engine cover to go back on. Put the back 2 prongs in place. Make sure this is coming out the cutaway that's already present. You're going to take the bottom of the cap. It's a 1/2 turn cam lock. Lock it into place. You're going to want to put a little grease on that O-ring to make that easier. From now on, when you want to add oil or change oil, it's as simple as pulling the clean side separator off, which has 2 O-rings to seal it, and pushing it right back into place. Pick your tools up. You've got a nice clean system. You want to take the camera and come around and get some close-ups of all the parts of it. And one of the simplest RX installs there is. Now this would be done the same way on the Cadillac CTS 3.6 liter V6 or the 3 liter. And there you have it.